Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Indigenous Australians. During Reconciliation Week, what can Australians do to promote reconciliation?
The call to the Minister for Indigenous Australians.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and thank you to the member for Lingiari. Like all of us here, I'm sure she saw the beautiful First Nations art projections on the front of Parliament House last night, and the avenue of flags of those three flags flying. Be a voice for generations. That's the theme for this year's Reconciliation Week. It's a call for all of us to be a voice for reconciliation in tangible ways in our everyday lives, because the defining moments of our history have been when ordinary Australians have put their shoulder to the wheel of history and pushed it forward, and in doing so made Australia a better place. The 1938 Day of Mourning, the 67 referendum, Wave Hill, Mabo, the Apology to the Stolen Generations, the 1997 Reconciliation Convention, the walks over bridges, the Redfern speech, and of course the Uluru Statement from the heart. Everyone can make an act of reconciliation, and sometimes it's actually the humble moments that make the biggest difference. By telling the truth of our past, by finally recognising Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in our Constitution, by giving a voice to Indigenous Australians, because the truth of our history is that Indigenous Australians have been left behind. We all know the indicators: the 9 years gap in life expectancy, the widening gap in infant mortality, lower rates of high school completion, and our young people robbed of their potential, languishing behind bars in a justice system that has let them down. It isn't good enough. Something has to change, and change for the better. In the coming months, there will be important conversations around dinner tables, the pub and coffee breaks, because this year there will be a referendum to recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders in our Constitution through a voice. And we have everything to gain and nothing to lose by voting yes at the referendum later this year. Australians know in their hearts the time is now. We want a more united Australia, a more reconciled Australia, and there is no better time than Reconciliation Week to start having those conversations, and for all of us to be a voice for generations. Now is the time for all Australians to put their shoulder to the wheel.
Yes.